Then she stretched out her hand, and the river water began rising toward the ceiling. Kamau grabbed Chamaka and backed away as the icy water swirled through the mansion. Furniture floated past them, the lights flickered, thunder shook the walls. At the end of the hallway, Dara stood silently. Her soaked dress dripped river water onto the floor. "You promised forever," she whispered. The water rose higher. Chiamaka cried out in fear, "Kamau, do something!" But Kamau could not move. For years he had feared this moment. For years he had believed Dara had returned for revenge. Then suddenly something caught his attention. Dara was crying. Tears mixed with the river water running down her pale face. Her eyes held no hatred, only pain. "Dara," Kamau whispered. The spirit looked at him. "I waited for you." The mansion trembled. "I searched for you in the darkness." The water stopped rising, and all these years I remained trapped. Kamau's heart pounded. "Trapped?" Dara slowly nodded. "The covenant bound us together. When I died, my soul could not cross over." Lightning flashed across the sky. "The promise kept me between worlds." The truth struck Kamau harder than any nightmare. Dara had not returned to destroy him. She had returned because she could not leave. All these years she had been imprisoned by the very promise they made as young lovers. Tears filled Kamau's eyes. "What do I do?" Dara lifted her trembling hand. "The padlock." At once Kamau remembered. The golden padlock they had thrown into the river beneath Heaven Hill. The covenant must be released. The next morning, accompanied by the old priest, Kamau journeyed to River Oru. The storm had ended, but dark clouds still hung over Heaven Hill. For hours they searched the riverbed. As sunset approached, Kamau felt his foot strike something hard beneath the water. He reached down and pulled it free. The golden padlock, covered in mud, covered in years of silence, yet still intact. The old priest stared at it with fear. "The spirits have preserved it." That night they returned to Heaven Hill. The ancient covenant tree stood waiting beneath the moonlight. Kamau placed the padlock at its roots. His hands trembled. The priest handed him the silver needle that Dara had once used. "The covenant was sealed with blood," the priest said softly. "It must be opened with truth." As midnight arrived, the wind suddenly stopped. The tree began to creak, and Dara appeared beneath its branches, not drowned, not terrifying, but exactly as she had looked on the night of the Festival of Lanterns. Young, beautiful, alive. Kamau could barely breathe. For a moment it felt as though the years had vanished. "Dara," she smiled sadly, "I never wanted to take you away." Tears streamed down Kamau's face. "I should have come back for you. You couldn't. I forgot our promise." "No," Dara whispered. "You survived." The words broke something inside him. For years he had carried guilt. For years he had believed moving forward was a betrayal. But Dara shook her head. You were meant to live. The wind began swirling around the tree. Thousands of tiny lantern lights appeared in the darkness. The spirits had come, waiting, watching. Dara looked toward Chiamaka. The young woman stood nearby, frightened but brave. Then Dara smiled gently. She loves you. Kamau looked at Chiamaka. And you deserve happiness. The golden padlock suddenly rattled. A crack appeared across its center. The covenant was weakening. Dara stepped closer. One final time. She placed her hand over Kamau's heart. Though she was a spirit, he felt warmth, the same warmth he had felt beside the village stream all those years ago. I release you. The words echoed through Heaven Hill. The padlock shattered. A brilliant golden light burst from within. The pieces of paper bearing their names rose into the air, then dissolved into thousands of glowing sparks. The ancient tree trembled. Its dead branches burst into bloom. White flowers opened across every limb. The curse was broken. The covenant was ended. The spirits disappeared. The wind returned. And for the first time in years, Dara looked truly free. She stepped backward into the golden light. Kamau reached for her, but she only smiled. We kept our promise. Then she looked toward the stars, and now it's time to let go. Her body slowly transformed into countless glowing lanterns. They rose into the night sky, higher, higher, until she became the brightest star above Heaven Hill. And then she was gone, forever. 1 year later, Kamau and Chiamaka returned to Heaven Hill. The ancient tree was now covered in beautiful white blossoms. Beneath it stood a small plaque. It read, "Love is not proven by holding on forever. Sometimes love is proven by letting go." As the couple turned to leave, a gentle breeze moved through the flowers. And somewhere in the distance, a familiar laugh echoed across the hill. Not sad, not lonely, but peaceful. At last, Dara had found her way home. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more amazing stories for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.